Hello everyone, Minute Plus Meditation here. It's Tuesday, May the 27th, and it's the Feast of St. Augustine of Canterbury. First reading, Acts 16. After they had given Paul and Silas a severe flogging, the emphasis here by St. Luke is severe, not a light one, but a severe flogging, so they were stinging, they were hurting. They threw them into prison. These prisons were hellholes. They weren't, air conditioned and the TVs like the modern prisons. These prisons were like awful places. And ordered the jailer to keep them securely, so they were in the stocks. Now what are they going to do about this? Well, at midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the prisoners were listening to them. Everything was an opportunity for Paul and Silas. Undoubtedly, Silas was learning from Paul. But they were learning from each other, but I suspect it was more Silas learning from Paul. Everything was an opportunity for him. This man saw every potential failure, misery, suffering, hardship, toil, struggle as an opportunity. Everything. I mean, and isn't that what you and I need in our daily life? Because all this stuff, it happens, right? Not they made it as dramatic and as publicly painful as this, being publicly flogged and so on. But, life has it, all of us go through struggles, trials, obstacles, toils, tribulations, struggle with discouragement, depression. Sometimes it's clinical depression, despondency. Do we see these as opportunities, or do we see them as the opposite, as reasons to just be miserable? And just say, why are you doing this? Why? I'm trying to live a good life. What do you see it as? Learn from Paul. He saw everything as an opportunity. I try to learn from that because I forget at times. And I'm sure you forget too. Ask St. Paul if from heaven, everything that happens to me, help me to see it as an opportunity to glorify God, to see some way I can use this for his honor and glory and for my betterment as a person. Over to the gospel. John chapter 16. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away. For if I do not go away, the advocate will not come to you. So the advocate, the Holy Spirit, will only come into the world through Jesus' what he calls glorification. What we know to be his capture, his brutal treatment, his suffering, his passion, his death, which was a cruel death. It will only come through that because Jesus is offering himself for our salvation. He's paying the price for our sin. This will lead to his glorification and the release and the sending of the Holy Spirit. So you and I, who have received the Holy Spirit through confirmation, recognize that we still participate. The Holy Spirit has been given to us because of Jesus' suffering and death and resurrection. Well, if the Holy Spirit is really going to operate in our life, we have to be willing to participate in the suffering of Christ. St. Paul says this, in Colossians 3:1, I fill up in my own flesh what is lacking to the suffering of Christ for the sake of his body, the church. So 3:24, I think it's 3:24. So you and I need to be aware of the times when we are suffering, that these can serve as for God's honor and glory and for the releasing of the Holy Spirit in our life. So try to remember this as you go throughout the day, and I will too. God bless you.